Hello, I am Mask. Today we're going to be casting 2 replays. They'll be separate videos. I'm going to start with the duos first. They were played yesterday, although technically it's still today for me. It's just, you know, like 5 a.m. or something like that. Let's see. So the duos, let's just jump in, and I want to just take a look at the player list before we get into here. Yeah, unbelievably, we actually have global chat in the game again. It hasn't been removed. I didn't think it would last even a single day. But there's been a lot of rage baiting going on. Of course, I have contributed as much rage bait as I can. But not nearly as much as this one dude from Shine did. Ooh, look at that. That's fucked. So we've got Aloya X and Sev RX LLX. Try saying that 3 times fast. Let's just pause this. Pause. Right. I don't know how these controls work. Oh, we got. Okay. All right. I understand now. So this, I think, is ranked. You would never see this number of players in quick match. That's for sure. So they ghosted each other. They try to go into the same lobby. And hold that thought. Hold that thought. Okay. I thought that dude was spinning in the air. It's what it kind of like looking like. So let's take a look at the map here and see where everybody popped out. So we've got 100 Mil ST and Mayom or Mom have spawned over there. We've got Labyrinth and Lin have spawned over here. We've got Wei Kano and Degree.exe. It's probably a malware. Have spawned down there. Of course, over here is our collection of bots that are awaiting their scripted deaths and or being placed arbitrarily next to players, sometimes not spawning properly and forcing you to wait for the one bot to die. Imperium is not a rank up, and Azura, Jesse, and See You Later, C, is not actually playing on C. She accidentally made her account on C, but actually lives in America. And this actually has consequences beyond just having the tag, is apparently random events just don't work for her. She can't, for example, participate in the current farm event, which mostly consists of very, very illicit, angry, rebellious teenagers stealing from their parents' garden. And I'm looking directly at my children, my many children now, many children, who are consistently stealing from my garden. This parent does not provide. You're supposed to give me shit, not steal from me. So actually, there's not that many human living functional teams in this game. It's still a lot more than what you would see in quick match. So I'm pretty sure that this is a ranked lobby. We have, because we've tried to arrange this before, actually. No, could this be quick match? Hold on. What? We've got Barry EU and submitting. So the bots are here, but they're not visible. Interesting. I forgot this is actually a place you can go to. So if we just pop over to submitting in this poor guy from EU that probably has like 1 million ping, unless he is also a person who had the unfortunate circumstances of having messed up his account creation. Yeah, so Lab and Code don't really like hot dropping. I'm guessing these two did not spawn here with the intent of hot dropping either. So let us begin. I did just wake up. Just woke up. And there is a lot of fooling around for me to do here as I try to remember the things here. So it looks like our main early action is going to be taking place in Arcadia. I have found that Arcadia is often the most intense early hot drop shenanigans in most, especially in duos and trios. A lot of people will go to Arcadia, sometimes even over Imperium, even if Imperium is a rank up, because we have the puzzle here. There's also a good amount of loot in this area that doesn't require you to fan out quite as much as in the Imperium area as well. So some early slapping has begun as Meows is annihilating, absolutely annihilating this Rumi. And Rumi has been destroyed. Typical Xbox moment, very, very common. There's only a handful of console players that are any good in this game, and the vast majority of them have migrated accounts that do not play on Xbox anymore. Oh, that lag, that burst of lag is very, very typical Naraka. Looks like Save RXLL has died, but the Rumi has, of course, saltied. And is just going to feed them another kill at this rate. They both have purple weapons. Oh, GS Gaming. GS Gaming. And he is dead. Well, never ever turn down a good, salty, rundown opportunity. Oh, got the parry in. He could pick up that purple pulsar. Oh, has instantly ulted. That is Valda. They have fed her a lot of rage. This guy just gets to chill out here as his partner dies miserably. So the first party has been defeated, surprisingly. Meanwhile, bots have spawned across the map, harassing various individuals. Spawning in Imperium, of course, can get you the red sword. Let's take a look at what our team compositions are. So Jesse's playing as Justina, and See Later is playing as C. One thing I noticed is that she tends to use V2, which is, of course, not very good. So we'll see if she's able to get some mileage out of that, because she is high ping, actually. She's higher ping than she should be. So there's like some kind of routing issue, or her ISP is shit, or there's line corrosion or whatever. Did they kill? I think we missed a fight here. Let's hop back for a moment and just drop over here to our Lab and Co. Assist Dark Drift. So it kind of looks like they might have run into these two unless they passed each other like ships in the night. We did see them on the map while we were over here. So they went down to the river. These guys were right over here too, but it looks like that they never actually saw each other. They went up here. These two have skirted down, and no one is any the wiser, and they pass like ships in the night. Lab never encounters early violence, so these two head on down to Imperium. Meows and 100 mil ST have access to Arcadia. Meanwhile, the EU player is turtling in the background, ratting as hard as possible. But degree.exe and friend are about to encounter these two, but they're down here now. They are down here. She's been heckled by the trap on this thing. It is possible to avoid that, but it seems really random on when you can avoid it. He avoided it. What the fuck? I think you can iframe it, but I've fallen down and it hasn't hit me too. So they definitely would have heard that. You look like they might be trying to open the statues to come down there, but these two are long gone. They might have heard them attacking. She has a skin for the piles I've never seen before. Looks like it's another Tessa, and I'm not sure who the other dude is. Could be Einar, actually. Oh, alright, so that's the proper Tessa ult. There's the improper Tessa ult. We'll see if they can turn proper into improper, or if they're going to get cooked. It does give them a little bit of interrupt and a little bit of health steal, but it's very, very small. But they do manage to absolutely murder the shit out of those two. Let's take a look at that fight again. How do I do that? And they actually get the Emperor's Tome out of that too. Let's take a little bit of a look and see why that turned around so easily. Well, it looks like it's a Tarka, actually, and not an Ainur. And the Tarka does not ult at all at this point. He does go into counterattack. He gets his counterattack out. Jesse takes like no damage at all. They both focus on the other Tessa. Only now does he decide to ult, and he doesn't do anything with it. He just instantly dies, and then she instantly dies. So that was much less of a composition-related victory, and more of a general interaction-related defeat. That target could have been literally anybody, but he held onto his ult, and he didn't really do anything with them. Now, the real question would be, do they salty this? The answer is no. Meanwhile, bots have spawned over here to heckle these two and destroy them. Bear and Co are also being heckled by bots, and bots are heckling Meows. You can see Dark, Drake, and Deathclock with a K. So, Jesse takes the red sword, and see you later is... It's actually a decent amount of items. It does have tuna. Cats do like tuna. Jesse is actually rating V1 in this. Jesse is a pretty decent player. He's got lower ping than I do. I still think a little bit higher than Mucky's. And better frames, although not by much. But he does have better mechanics. He has combos and stuff like that. But sometimes he does panic a little bit in neutrals, and that can lead to some problems. So some bots have been slapped to death. These two look like they're going to take a revive over there, as Lab and Co are over here. Let's take a look at Lab's composition. It will be Zai, Rumi, of course. Lin playing Zai, and Lab pretty much exclusively plays Rumi at this point. Unless he's in a different group. I've seen him play Volda. But with her, he is usually playing as Rumi. Honestly, not gonna lie, I feel like when he plays Rumi, it feels like he plays a lot stronger, more neutrals. Although he has a very, very nasty Volda combo that is basically a TOD. So, but it's not something you're really going to be able to pull off in a duos unless you can catch somebody alone. Because it does use her skill and basically gives you a bunch of resets. And I feel like you really depend on flat terrain for it. But he does play Volda. He does play Justina. But in duos, it seems like he is usually on that Rumi. So it kind of looks like degree.exe is going to head down to this pile over here. And very possibly we're into 100 Mill Street. Perhaps looking to not cross the rails, but walk down the street here. Maybe we'll get a better look at their playing skill at this moment, because these two are still perhaps on some weak gear. Both of them are on blue armor. It's not unwinnable, but it is. Volda, this dude's not even attempting to parry this at all. And that ult went nowhere because they got knocked off. So just throwing every pulse sword blue in the game, I absolutely can get behind that. There's a staff in the middle of nowhere. And target getting that parry. There's another pulse sword. He did ult a little bit earlier this time. His counter attack is up. The Volda's thing went over there somewhere and did not do anything. Holy shit, are they gonna... yeah, they're gonna lose this. Well, at least the one character lost this. It's down to a 1v1 now. Just throw every staff vertical. This is a Yodo. Yodo is well known for TODs, but she's not really getting too much out of it at the moment. She's getting cooked. She's running away. Dude, degree.exe, a Wake Kono, managed to pull out of that. That Tessa was basically a deer caught in the headlights, absolutely confused as all hell. What do I do? And it worked out. It absolutely worked out. So it looks like we might be looking at a Yang fight here. We will just pop back a little bit so we can get the early... Oh, it's against Jesse and friends? Yeah, we want to see this. So I would give this match to Lab, but Jesse has beaten Lab in customs. And real games do perform very differently, and This is duos, so you never know. See you later might just get some nice damage on him. They are going to ignore the Tessa ult because it is V2. But that can be a problem if you're taking damage already. Jesse's taking some damage here. They're standing and fighting in the Rumi ult. Definitely very dangerous business, but getting in some damage on Lin nonetheless. Lab taking some damage from that. She's just rolling around everywhere. Now this is where V2's Tessa can actually be useful because it gives you some sustain, right? So if you're in a fight where you don't have much health and it's not being very bursty, you can get some mileage out of it. It looks like they're trying to bully out Lab right now. Lab is just trying to delay long enough for Lin, but dude, Lab is actually cooked. Lin managed to, if that 1-2-3 connected, it would be down to a 1v1, but it did not. She is cooked. Yeah. Dude, that was crazy. I kind of want to see that again. I want to watch that again. There's some dynamic to this fight. The V2 Tessa manages to beat the Zai Rumi. That's actually really surprising to me. I wish you could, I wish you could slow it down a little bit, right? You know how, like, in League and shit like that, you can slow it down? I wish you could do that here. So Lin took a lot of damage early on. That really struggled for her, but she got in some damage. She does have a gold weapon. Rumi's ult does manage to save her, but Lab starts taking... They're like bouncing back and forth off of Lab and controlling him quite a lot. Lab does have longsword. He does get in a parry. It looks like this should be game for Jesse and Friend. But Jesse manages to get a lot of damage onto Lin at that point, and that was a counterattack. It was not a disarming counterattack. At this point, Lin's taken quite a bit of damage, and her ult is down, and they're managing to just keep up the aggression on them. So the Rumis all sustain them, but they lost a lot of momentum, and now that they're forced to reset, they're just really focusing on Lab spamming attack. And they end up cooking her. So, you know what? They won. I think it would have been a more convincing fight with V1 Tessa, but you know what? They made it work. They made it work, and they won. So 100 Mill Street is over here in Arcadia, alive but not dead, and not currently dying, so just alive. Not in an imminent state of dying, which means that these two have completely missed him, but the partner is alive. Did get revived. Lin and Lullaby are going to be looking for some soul blooms at this point. They're in kind of a tough spot, but they could pass into the EU player and Friends at any point. So Vulpine Essence was not popped on the Yodo. This is a really key thing, is if the Yodo wanted to continue to fight against that Tessa, she could have. She did not have ult, but she could have continued to fight. Now, there could be a second encounter at any point here. There actually could be a degree of colliding butt cheeks at any moment, depending if degree.exe and Wakano want to actually go into Imperium or not. Imperium's already going to be looted and it doesn't rank up. There's not really a lot of point in going there unless you want to fight. But seeing as they just revived, they may not really be wanting to do that. Meanwhile, the EU player is still sitting on gray armor. Oh, just picked up blue armor. Really cashing in there. And some bots have spawned on Lab and Lin, but they have not noticed the bots. Those bots are their ticket to getting their shit sorted out, but they don't even look at them. They're actually more interested in this fight over here. As you can see, there was some shooting going on. They're going to encounter the Yang team. That ult does not hit. It can be iframed just the same as any other. Looks like Lab wants to focus on Jesse and try to get him out of the way. The ult is used again. Jesse's taking quite a lot of damage from that, and the bots have arrived. The bots that were chasing them before have arrived. She is stuck fighting the bots. Jesse is swiping in there, helping them out with the bots a little bit. But trying to kill Lab and Lynn before they're able to reset or whatever. The bot almost got a parry off of that. Just walks into there and dies terribly. But the bots have caused them some interference because Lab and Lynn are very, very low. And Lab is instantly killed. Instantly killed. Leaving Lynn to fend on her own. You know what's funny is I don't even get camera control. It does not switch off of that. Wouldn't it be if she dies to the Tesla ult? Okay. No, its damage is very, very low. It does like 200 damage with a gold weapon. It does literally half the damage of Tara's ult. Tara's ult does double the damage or more of the Tessa V2. And if it hits you, you can't get rid of it. It only has one stage of failure. So yeah, it's just a better ult overall. But I mean, they're winning. They are winning. So the spirit line is up. Jesse and See You Later are going to be picking up lots of loot from that little pack of bots, plus the lab group, and there it looks like they're going to be heading down here. These two are going for this, and these guys are dying to the zone currently. Let's see if Jesse can pull out the win. And they do have ult back. Well, he does, but the Tessa doesn't. She can get it back with a little bit of fighting. And that's that was a lot of damage. He landed probably a lot of headshots with that, look like. Well, it is gold weapons. You're not even really going to need headshots. This weapon is actually apparently quite capable of doing damage, the flintlocks. Because they did add a change a while ago which allowed the rev up explosive bonus to apply with the Iron Lotus or whatever it was, the slide attack. So See You Later is getting infinited by that EU player, but they just let them take that for free, which means that they had yellow armor and the tome. If they were gonna fight this, they probably should have done it before they gave them the line for free, but they didn't. So the Yodo is doing Yodo things despite the fact he's from EU, but he's not doing it as well as he could be, honestly. And then his roomie died, and then he died. If you're gonna fight on Spirit Line, don't do it after you give it to them. Don't do it after you give it to them. They're gonna get Tome, and Great Sword is like, I think it's like the best. Excuse me as I look around with these menus. Holy shit. It's just really odd. You have to push like P and M and then space bar, and like M makes sense, but so it looks like Jesse's partner here might have encountered some interns. There comes the Tessa ult. They've already had to deal with one Tessa V2. No, it was a Tessa V1. So V2 will be different. She didn't really get much sustain from it. Jesse is actually going to get instantly killed by this non-traditional Yodo. He scaves with like 1 health. If he survives with this, oh, avoiding that Valda has not had much success with her ult. Jesse is dead. It is up to See You Later now. Well, that buff actually helps her. It keeps him from doing too much damage, and then her ult interrupted them, but she was cooked. She was cooked. The Valda and the Yodo have annihilated them, leaving the final group. The final fated encounter between the OG Tessa group and the dramatic battle against the Valda Yodo that they had earlier in the match. So the Tarka is health maxing, actually. He's very, very healthy. Very, very healthy young man. He's got a gray pull sword and a blue greatsword. He could conjure Naraka with that. He looks kind of like he's a little lost at the moment. Meanwhile, these two here have cashed in on the items dropped by the Jesse composition. And they are extremely heavily stacked. And again, the Yodo still has the Vulpine essence. She never lost that in their original fight. I don't know, man. This is looking grim for Degree.exe and co. Just by a gear perspective. You do not get the functions you get. You can't... You don't seem to be able to view the, their inventories. I think a lot of this is going to come down to the Tarka. If the Tarka can infinite them, infinite at least one of them, and give the Tessa a chance to work with her ult, and if they can avoid getting caught in the Volda ult, of course. Although Volda's ultimate has been only partially successful in some of these last fights, she's really struggled to land it. It doesn't really seem like she's being iframed. She's just kind of like throwing the spears over there somewhere. Oh my god, dude, it's the Kata mode! I have to hope that they win now. We finally found someone who uses a Kata mode. They are going to go for Yang. So it gives them an extra chance to possibly pull this out. If they do win Yang and they get the Draco buff, that'll be very, very beneficial for them, evening the odds against this group that is very well stacked. It looks like an NPC Bane. Is that an NPC? Yeah, that's an NPC Bane, because they've been dancing here. They're actually getting trolled by this. Oh, never mind, she walked through it. No, that's their Bane. They baned it. Okay. Dudes are power sliding everywhere. So the Volda has Juggernaut, although it's not very well stacked, and is using the fan with Windy Trinity instead of the Red Longsword, so she's also pretty well stacked. The Tarka is absolutely confused as all hell. He could have gotten a free counterattack there, but he didn't. He did ult. Counterattack is up, gets in some damage. Oh, they got hit by the Tessa V1 in that too. But the Tarka instantly dies, and they are now stunned. She's instantly parried. She waited way too long. The blue was way too greedy to go for that at that point. And they are just unceremoniously murdered. Unceremoniously murdered. The Tessa is forced to sit there and stare at her halberds, unable to pick them up. A story sadder than Titanic. How will they respond to this setback? Seems like the gear difference will be way too much for them to come back with. The Tarka is not contributing that much. This is often why you see Fireball Tarka in these compositions, is so that he can peel and initiate with Fireball. But you do see Tarka of all flavors being very, very annoying in duos in particular. Admittedly, the Tarka Tessa composition is not as common, but... Oh. Yeah. Oh. He's getting punked. Alright, alright, alright. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He does actually try to dodge the Yodo. She gets knocked out of her ult due to that. The Volda is being focused at the moment. The Tarka really got nothing out of his ult so far. He dodged into the spear, very incidental, but it does kill him. Leaving the Tessa to fend on her own. It's all up to Degree.exe. She does pick up the gold armor off of the Moru's Blessing. The other two are completely confused. Where did she go? They had no idea she was literally right there shopping. The Valda is just chilling out in the zone at the moment. She didn't take too much damage from it, though. It's only zone 4. I think that the Natessa knows that the Valda's not very good and wants to single her out, but she got caught in the corner, and that's bad news. She needed to ult. There it is. And the Valda. Not even necessary. The Yodo ends up killing her, letting Meows and 100 Mill Street win this game. And I don't think the Yoda never even used Vulpine Essence. It never even got popped. So the Arcadia drop kind of panned out for them, just in terms of the gear, because ultimately, although it was very, very close for them in that bridge battle, when it probably really shouldn't have been, they still ultimately continued to grow and upgrade and improve, just like Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer continues to upgrade and improve. This was a very silly game, and it was interesting to see Lynn and Lab fight against Jesse and co, and ultimately get punked. Get very, very punked. Looks like See You Later might be picking up those NBPL skills at some point soon. She's got the winning build, right? She has got the winning build. Let's take one last look at those fights before we call it a day here. This is an incident where I think that if Lab was on Valda, this actually would have been pretty different. Lab actually getting hold checked there. Lynn takes a lot of damage before she's even able to ult, but she is able to turn around the initiation. Jesse's magnetism did not work out there. Otherwise, actually, they might have been able to get a kill off of that. There's a parry. I think a lot changed that part. That parry did actually disarm her, but she was able to come back and grab the weapon. There's a parry on Lab that did not disarm. Did not turn into a combo either. He didn't want to get heckled by that Zai while he's so low. Dual Blades combo actually did a lot of damage to her. That's kind of the turning point, I think, because this allows him to focus, and she target swapped. The F may or may not have been necessary there, but they got some damage. They both ducked out of that. Instead of gambling for the parry, they would have gotten the parry in all likelihood unless they got ping checked. But neither of them gambled for it, and they both avoided it. Because if that parry had landed, or the 1-2-3 had landed and the parry did not land, yeah, that would have been pretty bad. But then the really funny fight, the really deciding fight is the one that happens here. When the bots jump in. So there is Overcoomer, but doesn't look like any of them are rocking a pole sword. There is Merciless Havoc. Merciless Havoc was not even actually picked up, although I don't know if any one of them has a staff. She picked it up. She doesn't have a staff, though. Could have made a big difference. That did not hit. Just the incidental dodge allowed Lab to avoid that, and that sent the counterattack into Jesse. Lynn was getting cucked by Tureen there, but they're definitely getting cooked at the moment. Absolutely cooked. Better is showing out of Lab at this point. But the bots initiate at that stage. The bots kind of just like run around and be annoying and just get in their face. That unfortunately hits nothing. One bot dies. That did not magnetize. It didn't go anywhere. Lab kind of stays in there. They kill the bots, but it doesn't get him anything. He wasn't able to pick up the Soul Bloom. That wouldn't have made a difference. Just the 2 interrupts from the Tessa ult. She wasn't really probably going to be able to do too much anyways, but the constant staggering does not help when Zai has a general need to remain relatively stationary when her ult is up. That's one of the things that makes Justina very powerful, apparently, is I haven't really seen this interaction that much myself, but Justina will spam her V1, even though it doesn't actually freeze anything, like when the timer's up, just to get resets on it between 2 or more targets, and it staggers and will still apparently give you a combo. So I am definitely too low FPS to do that, but because kind of like Jessie, I kind of fling off in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, that just the ability to stagger people relatively on demand, unless they iframe it, continues to be strong regardless of the follow-ups. But the lack of crowd control definitely did not help them against the Volta composition. And she was a little too eager to engage them right away as well. Beyond that, though, that was GG. Entertaining game. We will move on to the next one.